What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another brand new video here today. We're here for something a little bit different. This is the Transnation eSports F2 series. This is the first video that I've made throughout this championship. I know there's like, 4 rounds left or something now, but I thought, considering I've not been uploading too much lately, I thought I'd do something a little bit different, and yeah, I felt like these races this morning were pretty cool, so yeah, I decided to record these. But anyway, let's get into one-shot qualifying first of all. So, quick rundown of the format. We've got one-shot qualifying, and then obviously the feature race and the sprint race, both 50%ers obviously. So yeah, there is that. Championship picture, ironically, or maybe not so ironically, I suppose, depends which way you look at it, but it is myself and Stuart McKenzie going at it. So yeah, we've got about 100 points to the rest of the field, so the two of us have dominated this season pretty well, but still a long way to go. So a slip up from either one of us could have big implications for a championship aspirations. But anyway, we're here for qualifying up through the S's now on our one and only hot lap. I say one and only hot lap, it's one shot quali, so it's the same for everybody, but you know. But a few people already retiring. Harry has left, not too sure what that's about. I think that man's been having internet problems, which is unfortunate for him, because he's always good to race against, but he hasn't had much luck with his net lately, so I'm not too sure what he's doing there. Another retirement, so I think that's what, 3 now so far? So yeah, a few people dropping like flies at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe 1 or 2 more before this session's over, as there you go, Carter Boy retires, so that's another retirement. But at the moment we're sitting about P2, P3, just going into cockpit view every now and again when I can, just to see what position I am currently in. We'll have another look. I'm currently P3, I think that was. So on for a second race start at the moment. So this is going to be borderline as to whether we can park it on the front row. We're going to have to be really aggressive in this final chicane break just before the 100-metre board. Try not to lock up into the apex. Now flick it left. Cut that corner ever so slightly, I think, but we get away with it over the bump to the line. Are we going to steal pole position? Yes, we are, with a 141.661, and we were third before the final chicane, so we have absolutely nailed that. Not going to sit here and say it was perfect, but it was good enough. And I think by memory we only got pole by like 100th of a second. So let's just go have a look, and yes indeed, look at the gap from ourselves to the Trident of Crossy. Look at that gap, only 100th of a second in it. 5-shot Ryan in P3, Addy P4, so pretty pleased with that, to be honest. Managing to steal pole position away from the Trident driver, so we'll have to watch out here in this first race. Now strategy is going to play a part. Now as far as I know, I'm the only one at the top end of the field who's starting on softs, so this is going to be interesting to see how this pans out.
Everything looks good on the power unit cycles, so let's concentrate on bringing tyres and brakes up to temperature.
Alright, so we set off on the formation lap. Now like I was saying, I'm starting on softs. The two behind are on mediums, and I think I got a strange feeling that I think Bo is starting on softs as well. I think he's in 5th, and other than that I think everybody else in the top 10 is actually on mediums, so this is going to be quite interesting to see how this race pans out. We're definitely going to need to try and make a break for it at the start. Pray for no silly VSCs or safety cars or something, which does seem to be a common trait as of late. But anyway, we've done what we need to do so far. Quick rundown on the championship scenario as well. We are 40... hang on, I'm just trying to remember. I think it's 42 points behind McKenzie at the moment. So got our work cut out a little bit. He's down in 6th though for the start of this race, so if there was ever a time that we're going to do something about trying to narrow his lead, now's the time to do it. But going to be easier said than done. But we're starting on pole, so far so good.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
Alright, we are ready and set to roll here at Japan for race 1 here in the F2 cars, awaiting 5 red lights for the Japanese Grand Prix. And away we go. Lay the boot into it, obviously. The only way to get these F2 cars off the line. Excellent start, as you would expect, being on the soft tyres. Straight into the lead, down into turn 1. Bit of understeer though. These F2 cars don't exactly have the best amount of downforce compared to the F1 cars, and obviously the F2 cars is not something that you drive, considerably. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm comfortable and confident to, completely throw this thing around, because I'm not. But I did do a bit of practice the night beforehand at about 11 o'clock at night, so probably not the best time that I could have done it, but I felt like I had reasonable pace. I knew where I could push. I knew where I had to back off when tyre wear started to become an issue. So I was confident that, at least for this first stage of the race, I could maintain the lead. Coming on to the end of lap 1, yellow flags in the chicane, set the fastest lap of the race, 1:45.5, already over a second clear of 5-shot Ryan behind. Now, what I can say is, it was Crossy and Addy, I think, that were running 3rd and 4th, I think, coming into that final chicane. Crossy went deep.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
And thanks for the interruption, engineer. And I think Addy has tried to go for a move, and they've come together. I think they've both spun out. Maddie is now retired. I'm not too sure where that is. Hopefully that doesn't bring out a VSC, but I think it will.
Virtual safety car, virtual safety car. Reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta. Drop your speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Okay, so we have a virtual safety car. Luckily not the full course safety car, which I was very thankful for. I didn't want to see the real safety car out at any time, really, if I'm honest, especially around the midpoint of the race, if I was to really make this strategy work as well as I want to. But anyway, away we go a few moments later, and we've got about 1.5 seconds to 5-shot Ryan, if I'm not mistaken. Mackenzie has got up into 3rd, but he is quite a way back, about 4 seconds behind Ryan, if I'm not mistaken, and he's got a car or two right behind him as well, as that's an unusual warning through 130R. So yeah, I don't really think you'd see that too often, but there you go. I continue to amaze myself every day. But anyway, cross the line to start lap number 4, and still with about a 1.5 second lead over 5-shot Ryan behind. But cutting to the end of lap 5, he has started to reel us in. These soft tyres were really going off, so it really only lasted about 5, maybe 6 laps if you really looked after him. So we're coming in now for a set of medium tyres. All those guys continue around, apart from Bo, who I believe follows us in. Does he? No, he actually goes around again. So I think we are the only person who has actually come in at the end of lap 5. Actually, no, I think that might be Mason has followed us in. No, hang on, that's Sarah May, so I don't know what I'm looking at or talking about, but anyway. Re-emerging, looks like in P7. We've got a Arden car coming down the front straight of Carter Boy, but we should emerge ahead of him, and we do. So, main aim for the rest of the race was really just to push as hard as I could to try and get as big a gap as I possibly could. But now we have a safety car.
Watch your delta. Make sure you keep it positive as we catch the pack.
Alright, so that's not what we needed. If I'm brutally honest, that is not going to do our strategy a world of good. We're going to lose the lead at this rate, and I think we're actually going to lose effective second on the road, because there is Mackenzie and he's jumped us as well. So from comfortably leading by just over a second, now we're effective third on the road. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jordan is actually in the lead of the race, but he is yet to make a pit stop. So he is effectively probably down around the back end of the 10. So Fireshot Ryan leads provisionally at the moment from Mackenzie in P2, ourselves in P3. But getting here to the restart, Mackenzie is, I don't know if he's fallen asleep or what, but he is not going anywhere at this restart. And look at the gap to Ryan already. We've got a good launch and already about a second clear of Bo behind us, so we don't have to worry about an attack from behind. But yeah, I was a bit confused as to what Mackenzie was doing there, to be honest. He's kind of just been asleep at the restart. But I was hoping that Jordan would kind of hold Ryan up a little bit up through the S's here, and it does seem like that is exactly what he's doing. Keep in mind, all of us were actually in a party as well. Obviously, a few of us had muted each other, so we couldn't exactly hear what everybody was saying, but bit of a cue here as we leave the S's. We've got to run on Macca, but I back out of it. I didn't want to try and go for a move around the outside here, because that was just going to be me straight off into the gravel. That was never going to work. So I decided to back out of it, but that has allowed a couple of the guys behind to gain on us ever so slightly. Jordan deep in the hairpin, Ryan gets underneath him on the exit, and that should be job done for the Dams driver. Now I'm sure Jordan will probably not make this too difficult, as he's actually lagging about a little bit as Mackenzie gets by and we get up the inside as well. But with a shallow line, the understeer, we run wide, get a warning for exceeding track limits. I think I might have inadvertently I couldn't even think of the word I was thinking or wanting to say there. Hang on. Oh yeah, let's try this again. I think I scored to Jordan wide accidentally. There we go, finally got the sentence out. So apologies to you, man, if that was the case. But cutting on to lap 11, Ryan loses it out of the hairpin. Just dropped it on power there and has gone from first down to third. So that now releases... I can't speak today, Jesus. But that's a hit up the backside from Ryan there. But that now gives Mackenzie the lead. Puts us up to P2. So once again, the championship protagonists are running first and second. Cutting on to lap 13, just as we set the fastest lap of the race. Here we go. We're going to try and make a move. DRS down the inside into turn 1 on the Prema. But we go a little bit deep and Macca straight back underneath us. Gives us a slight squeeze on the exit. But no harm done there. Good clean racing. And yeah, still sitting first and second at the moment. Ryan still right there behind us, ready to capitalise if either of us makes a mistake, so we do have to watch out for that. But Macca with a real bad run out of 130R at the end of lap 13, side by side through 130R. This is Alonso and Schumacher stuff right here, but we get the move done round the outside. Just got to make sure we get it stopped for the final chicane, lock up on the right front, but we do get it stopped. That was an awesome move round the outside there, and we take the lead with 2 to go here at Japan. But we can't speak too soon because Macca will now have DRS. Fireshot Ryan sets the fastest lap of the race as Macca now dives down the inside. What a move from the Prema. There's barely any room there, but we left just enough room. He saw it and he capitalised on it, but now he gets a bad run and we are straight back up into the lead. And now we're still going side by side through the S's, so this is awesome racing right here. I think finally we've actually got the move done. Little hit up the rear there. It's just struggling to try and get the car settled down again so I can get back into rhythm. But finally, we've got the lead, and I can say that is the way it stayed as we cut to the final chicane on the final lap. We were just able to pull away to open the gap up, not quite to a second. I think Mackenzie has a time penalty as well, so that'll demote him down to P3, but we come across the line to win race 1, fastest lap of the race 2. So far, it's been a perfect weekend at the moment. Pole position, so we get the 4 extra points, and now we come out and win the feature race here at Japan with fastest lap as well. So that's only going to do our title aspirations a world of good with Mackenzie demoted to P3 on penalties. But I can say things don't get better for the Prima driver towards the end of the sprint race. And you will see what I mean a bit later on. But anyway, we'll have a look at the results now. So there we go. We win the feature race here at Suzuka. 5-shot Ryan home in P2 from Stuart McKenzie in P3. So we've outscored our championship rival for the first time in quite a while, I think, and we've done it pretty convincingly as well. Crossy, the man who lined up alongside us, only ends up down in P6 after that calamity with Addy at the end of the first lap. So decent recovery, I guess, considering, as far as I'm aware, he was facing the wrong way. But we'll cut over to the sprint race now. Reverse grid, so we're starting from P8. Man, this is going to be an interesting one. Once again, Mackenzie right there in front of us, P6. 5-shot run alongside us in P7. So we're going to have to hope for the start of dreams here. We cannot let these two get away. More importantly, we really can't let Mackenzie get away. But 5 red lights. And away we go for the sprint race here at Japan. Everybody bursting into wheel spin. We get a real good launch. Bo goes absolutely nowhere. And we've got a real good run. But unfortunately, we just can't go anywhere. Ryan goes around the outside of Bo. Gives us a little squeeze there. We're able to catch it. As now Macca and Ryan going at it for what, P5. As we've got Brett up our inside now. No idea where the hell he came from. He started down in like 12th or 13th. So he's gained like 5 spots in literally the span of 10-20 seconds of the race going green. So very nice start from him there. But so far so good. We've only made one position, but in saying that, we're still right behind theoretically the two guys that we will be racing. But there is a bit of a queue forming at the head of the field. I think it's Mason and Addy that are currently 1-2, but we come into the hairpin. There's a big queue of cars, so we're going to go around the outside as there's been contact, and more cars are going. Ryan's around. Mac has been involved in that as well, and there was 4 or 5 cars there have been taken out, and that has gifted us P3, and man, that was a calamity there. I think Sarame has hit Seb, and Sebastian has been spun around. Then I think Ryan's hit Sarame, and then Mac has hit Ryan, and it's just been a complete chain reaction there. But cutting on to lap 2, we go for a dive on Mason into the hairpin. Doesn't make that too difficult for us, and we get up into P2. Also worth noting that our rival Stuart McKenzie, he's still in P4, but here we go on the end of lap 4 through 130R. We've got a good run on Macca's teammate Addy, who has somehow found himself in the lead of the sprint race, actually quite comfortably as well, or was quite comfortably until now. But anyway, crossed the line, fastest lap of the race, 44.2, not bad. But here we go, DRS slipstream. We pull to the right side, down into turn 1. Got to make sure we don't outbrake ourselves here. Up the inside nicely, and there we go. We take the lead of the sprint race. Cutting on to the start of lap 7, Maddie retires now. Looks like that's just out of the hairpin, and now we have another safety car.
We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty. Slow down, maintain positive delta.
Alright then, so with about 4 laps to go in the sprint race at Japan, we have a safety car. Not going to lie, really not what I wanted. As you can see, that's brought Mackenzie right back into it in P3 with his teammate in P2. I would not be surprised to see a little bit of team orders within Prima here at the restart. But anyway, just trying to line it up to get the best launch I can. I think we've done that. We've got a little bit of breathing room to Addy. I say that's only about 3/10. But as you can see, we look behind here as Addy indeed does pull over and let Mackenzie go. But there's a little bit of a hitch with that because there's been an accident just before the finish line. Somebody's dropped it on the restart, and because there was yellow flags, Mackenzie's actually gotten an illegal overtake for that, as far as I know. So he's actually had to let Addy go back through, which has completely screwed both of them up. But on the upside for us, it has basically gifted us almost a 2-second lead straight off the bat before the end of the first sector. We'll have a look exactly at what the gap is. 1.8 seconds to the Prima driver. So that's done a world of good for us. But coming on to the final lap of the race, I can say, unfortunately, Mackenzie actually disconnected, was able to get back in, but then he was involved in an incident which put him in the wall. So I think he's only going to come home to score, I think, 1 or 2 points. So we've made massive inroads into Macca's championship lead. But as we come across the line to win the sprint race here at Suzuka, fastest lap as well. And basically a perfect weekend for us. Fastest lap gets stolen there at the end, but I ain't too worried about that, to be honest. But there we go. Pole position, win in the feature, and win in the sprint race. So all in all, you could argue the point. Basically a clean sweep weekend, very nice. So yeah, I don't think there was much we could have done different to improve on that, to be honest. So from what I'm able to work out, that reduces Mackenzie's point lead now from 41 all the way down to only 12 points. So like we've been saying all season, one bad round for either one of us, and that can completely ruin any advantage that we might have. And that has certainly happened for the Kiwi here this morning. So have a look at the results for the weekend. Clean sweep, 46 points for us. Mackenzie down in P5, only scoring 17. So he will not be pleased with that. But I'm sure he'll bounce back at Mexico as he normally does. So we'll have to make sure that we are on our game there to try and reduce the championship lead even more. But that's it from me today, guys. If you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, stay tuned for plenty more. Hope you enjoyed this, something a little bit different. I certainly enjoyed making it, so I hope you've enjoyed watching. But yeah, that's it from me. So until my next video, I will see you all next time.